My name is John Passfield, and the title of this reading will be John and Dickens, Video 22, Questions 2. Here is my novella, John and Dickens, A Christmas Mystery, a novella by John Passfield. John meeting Dickens and his characters in Dickens' writing room. Writer John Passfield leaves his home, buys a coffee, and drives down to the shores of Lake Erie to perform a Christmas ritual, strolling along the beach at Port Maitland. Something he's done for many years, but this year is different. This year, John suddenly finds himself in the writing room of famed Victorian novelist Charles Dickens, who sets out his new idea for a Christmas tale. Dickens invites John to watch rehearsals for the writing of the story, but as Dickens struggles through contentious negotiations with his amazingly independent characters, John wonders whether A Christmas Carol will ever be written. Sci-fi, maybe. I don't know what you call this kind of novella. The human mind is a thinking machine of many compartments. It is an image processor of many layers. It is a questioning device which questions and re-questions itself. Every image that enters the human mind raises questions about its significance in the attempt by the human mind to problem solve. The questions that John asks himself are an example of one compartment of the human mind asking questions of another compartment of the mind, of one layer of the human mind asking questions of another layer of thought in the mind. Here are some more examples of the kinds of questions that the mind of John, the main character of this novella, is asking itself. So the mind asking the mind questions. The mind asking itself questions. Page 36. We will start at. Is Charles Dickens your favorite author? Have you read all of his books? Have you returned to them time and again over the years? Okay, then to page 44, spilling over onto page 45. Is Dickens just an entertainer? Does he have anything valid to say? Does he have anything more to offer than just Christmas cheer? Then to page 48. Let me see here. Okay, here we are. Page 48. How many people have you known? How have you known them? In how many ways? Okay, page 55. Again about people. Do you turn people into mythical creatures? Does it help you to know them better? Or does it mean that you know them even less? Okay, so comparing his own mind as just a person to Dickens's mind, Dickens turns people he knows into mythical creatures. He puts them in books. Do you do that with the people you know without putting them in books? And if so, does it make it better or worse in terms of trying to understand them, know something about them? Okay, that was 55. Let's go to 58. Page 58 for more questions. John's mind asking another level or compartment of the mind these questions. What is your favorite Dickens story? Does it illuminate your life? Does any particular story embody your hopes and your fears? And then lastly for this reading, page 66. Who is your favorite Dickens character? Is there anyone who is just like you? Have you been captured and exhibited in a Dickens tale? So, do we see ourselves when we read a book? I guess is another way of asking that question. When I was a first-year university student, a question was asked by another student of a professor, which the professor didn't answer. The question was, is Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell considered to be a great novel? The professor just looked at the ceiling and said nothing. That question and the lack of an answer remains with me to this day, which is about 60 years after that question was asked. Those who write serious literature spend an awful lot of time asking themselves just what exactly serious literature is. And one of the topics that one can do a lot of thinking under is the topic of the type of society in which serious literature can be written. Can serious literature best be written in a peaceful society in which most of the citizens within the parameters of that society see themselves as harmonious, see themselves as alike and akin? If so, then the theory would go that this allows the writers within those societies to see the social issues of their time as primarily of minor concern, and to see the common humanity of all people in their society as of their primary concern. And therefore the focus on the common humanity would allow these writers to write timeless literature. Well, on the other hand, can serious literature be written in a turbulent society, in which large groups of citizens within the parameters of that society see themselves as separate and at odds? The theory then would go that this allows the writers of that time to write about the great issues which have divided human beings over the years. And if those issues recur again and again through the centuries, then the focus would be on our common humanity. And this would allow our writers to write timeless literature. Well, let's take 4 books and 4 authors to consider. The Iliad by Homer, the history plays of William Shakespeare, Uncle Tom's Cabin by Harriet Beecher Stowe, and Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell. All of these works of literature meet the criteria of being written in a society which is made turbulent by sectarian interests. In the Iliad, the Greeks and the Trojans are at war. In Shakespeare's history plays, the various English factions are at war. In Uncle Tom's Cabin, the nation is divided over the question of slavery. And in Gone with the Wind, the North and the South are at war. Now, I asked the question, which I've not yet been able to answer for myself. What is the balance or the imbalance between the social issues of a day, the reasons for war and division, and the timeless issues of our common humanity, the ways of thinking and communicating that are common to both sides in any conflict, that makes some of these books either, number 1, timely, because time-bound in their concern for the social issues of the day, they're about those social issues and nothing more, or number 2, timeless, because although they deal with the social issues of the day, all 4 of those books do, their emphasis is on the common humanity, not only of all of the participants in the divisions of the day, but of all people at all times who have ever lived on the earth, who are living now on the earth, and will ever live on the earth. So, take each of those 4 books. I mentioned Shakespeare's history plays, but take any one of them. Are they only about the social issue of the day? Are they about the social issue of the day on the surface, but about human interaction, human communication at a deeper level? I'm still wrestling with this question as I approach the writing of my 36th fictional work during my 78th year as a thinking human being. Consequently, in this particular video reading, I'm merely posing a question, not providing an answer. So, this is my novella, John and Dickens, A Christmas Mystery, novella by John Passfield. It's found on Amazon where there's information. It's found on my publisher's website, roxmillspress.com. It's found on my website, johnpassfield.ca, where there's 2 free books, a planning notebook in which I plan and write this novella, and a reflective journal in which I write about many, many topics, Dickens, novels, novellas, war and peace, and love and hate and everything else, while polishing the novella for a month or 6 weeks So have a look at that as well, at those 2 books, just by pressing on the icon, and you'll get them for free. So lastly, I'll just say thank you for watching this video.